Ladies and gentlemen, United Nations 75th year. What an extraordinary institution of par excellence to improve the state of humanity and human prosperity. When you aim at short term, you cultivate flowers. When you aim at medium term, you cultivate trees. When you aim at eternity, you build humanity. That is precisely the purpose of United Nations. And 75 years have gone. And what is in store with the changing face of the world? How do we bring in the improvements in the state of the world? That's what we are all looking. The past 75 years have been exemplary in bringing countries together, developed world, developing world, rich and poor countries, and setting a committed mission. These missions are profound in values, and these values are to build humanity, human dignity, human prosperity. Now, Sustainable Development Goals. This is what the name comes to us. From Millennium Development Goals, we move to Sustainable Development Goals. That is where we understood the whole change.
In the year 2000, leaders from 189 countries agreed on a vision for the new millennium. They wanted to end extreme poverty in all of its forms. So they made a list of 8 goals called the Millennium Development Goals, and they wanted to achieve these goals in 15 years. One of the leading organizations working to fulfill these goals has been the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP. We're present in more than 170 countries and territories. We championed the goals so that people everywhere would know what they were and how people could do their part. We funded projects that helped fulfill the goals. We helped countries accelerate NDG progress by breaking down the silos and working across sectors. We acted as scorekeeper, helping countries to track progress. As a result, the number of people that live on less than $1.25 per day has dropped by more than half. The number of primary school-age kids who don't go to school, down by almost half. The number of people getting life-saving treatment for HIV increased by over 15 times. Child mortality, down by almost half. As much progress as we have made together, there's still a lot more to do. Over 800 million people are still living on less than $1.25 a day. 1 in 9 people on our planet goes to sleep hungry each night. Deforestation remains alarmingly high in many countries. Oceans are becoming more acidic, threatening food security and marine ecosystems. And about 1 of every 6 adults in the world is illiterate. 2/3 of them are women. We think those are tough numbers, and so do leaders from the countries where we work. So in September 2015, they agreed on a new set of goals to help finish the work we all started in 2000. The new goals are called the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. We have made significant progress in the last 15 years, and we think there's plenty of room for hope, for action, in the next 15 years. Today, the world is more connected by technology. We know more about how to balance the 3 pillars of sustainable development: social progress, economic growth, and environmental protection. However, our climate is changing. Our planet is transforming, and there are more people on Earth than ever before. We at UNDP believe everyone can have enough of what they need living within our planetary boundaries, and we are working around the world to make this happen. Our goals to reach by 2030 are to eradicate extreme poverty, protect our environment, and much more. UNDP has 50 years of experience working with countries to make this a more prosperous, healthy, inclusive, and sustainable world.
Sustainable Development Goals. The next is, what are the Sustainable Development Goals? That is what we should look at it. Is it alleviation of extreme poverty, gender equality, environment sustainability, or building the global partnership, infrastructure institution? The list is ambitious, and that is what exactly we should look at it. We have to look at universal education, universal health care. The list is enormous in terms of substance and substantive compliance. These values are second to none. We have to necessarily make sure we understand this sustainable development. And what are they? What are the specific 17 sustainable goals? Here we go. When it comes to conference of the parties, we have experienced, personally I've attended many, whether it is Doha in 2012, COP18, or 19 in Warsaw. So the list goes on. So essentially, world over, technicians, politicians, and again, bankers, economists, intellects from various parts of the world who understand the changing dynamics to protect this environment, they all come together and decide the policy definition. At this point, COP21 plays a big role. The agreement between developed world and developing world, the compliance architecture for ensuring world at large reduce the carbon emission, creating a new energy mix, ensuring we use the alternates. Industrialized nations, their carbon reduction models have all been signed off. Here is the historic moment. Here is the historic moment in terms of COP21.
Mission with responsibility for energy union.
Green banking. What an extraordinary concept. as a banker, when it comes to investments or lending, a portion of the risk-weighted capital can be allocated for sustainable development projects, water management, waste management, solar, wind, biofuel, biomass, and again, various customer segmentation you can ignite, reuse, reduce the carbon emission in multiple forms, recycling industries. It could be anything. So there are extraordinary set of commitment we all have to make to ensure when it comes to banking, which plays a very big role in socio-economic development. These are commercially viable projects, long gestation period at times, depending upon country specific or product specific, but green banking is here to stay. And there are designated green banking now evolving. As an institution, we are proud in sharing this mission as Doha Bank and showcasing around the world the green banking. The technical part of the presentation, right from Japan to Washington, personally, I have carried this mission in between 2004 to 2007, cutting across the globe and showcasing the importance of it. Here is green banking in concept. Green bonds. Another important development is issuing a debt paper. A capital can be invested or lent. Similarly, debt you can procure with the purposeful endorsement as specified to global or universal standard for green missions, certified by experts. You can invest or lend. And that is where the green bond comes in. It is mushrooming very well. There are many banks now engaging in issuing green bonds. Here is the green bond.
Climate change is one of the biggest challenges of the 21st century. Climate scientists agree that limiting CO2 emissions is essential to reduce temperature rises from reaching unsustainable levels. Governments, communities, and individuals need to do their part to address climate change. Now, a new financial product is making it easier for companies and investors to do their part. Introducing the Green Bond. Green bonds work a lot like regular bonds. A company or government issues a bond or a promise to repay at a future date with interest in exchange for money that can be used today to invest in income-generating activities. Green bonds work the same way, but instead of investing in any activity, they only fund businesses or projects that are green. For example, a company might issue a green bond to finance the latest solar power plant, clean technology investments, or climate adaptation projects. The market for green bonds has been growing rapidly as investors around the world look to invest their money responsibly. Likewise, companies are seeing the benefits as green bonds offer a way to finance projects that might otherwise be difficult to finance. Countries in Asia and the Pacific have been leading the way in technology that can help the planet. But Asia still lags in the issuance of green bonds. Green bond financing can attract new types of investors that are looking at the long term. Governments and companies across the region will need to make a concerted effort to address climate change. Green bonds will increasingly be part of the solution.
Doha Bank Sustainable Framework and Value Chain. Right from 2002, we have been engaged in ensuring social responsibility and social risk management. Irrespective of where we come from, around the world, every institution should engage in reducing the carbon emissions. Not necessary that we can create carbon neutral society over the period of time. We can add value. With this perspective in mind, we have created a lot of initiatives, which includes framework, sustainable development framework, making sure creating a value chain for this purpose, ensuring the mapping of your products and services with various alliances and collaborations, creating UNESCO Eco School programs. So mapping with individual customers who are willing to be partnering with. So these are the initiatives which I want to showcase. Sustainable development commitment comes from every single country. Qatar has committed for not only in hosting Doha Climate Gateway resolution in 2012 as COP18, they put in tremendous amount of commitment in terms of supporting the green funding and projects which are committed in total terms for universal values. Here is the commitment from Qatar and the institutions who are engaged in it, including Doha Bank.
Greta, your first climate strike was a lonely event a little over a year ago, and in the intervening time you have sparked the interest of millions, literally, of children around the globe, demanding action for climate change. What's your message to world leaders today?
My message is that we'll be watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure, it's a symbolic gesture for you to realize how we care, passion for performance. We really understand this is global warming, this is the climate change, this is embodied in your individual constitution, institutions, country, globe, planet as a whole. That's precisely the message today we would like to portray. It is not ordinary mimic. It is not a simple symbolic gesture. We believe in what we do and the passion to perform. As an institution, we believe in character. We believe in really realizing the corporate social responsibility. That's precisely the reason I have decided to adore this global warming costume. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying United Nations has got committed mission, concerted vision. The execution is with us, we as individuals. Collectively, as a team, we have to create a culture as our commitment to make sure we create a better planet, a better citizenship to this planet for generations to come. Then United Nations will celebrate thousands of years for human prosperity, human values.